Well, it is a big story coming in from Chennai, and it has caused an absolute political eruption in Tamil Nadu politics. And it is the final signal, perhaps, that the merger of the two fighting AIADMK factions in Tamil Nadu could happen any time now. The two last conditions set by the rebel O Pannirselvam faction of the AIADMK to unite the party once lorded over by Jayalalitha have been accepted by the E. Palanisamy government. The two conditions agreed to are as follows. A judicial probe will be initiated into the circumstances surrounding Jayalalitha's death in December last year as per quote-unquote the people's request. The Judicial Committee's members will be announced soon. Condition number 2 that they've accepted is that Jaya's residence, the iconic Poise Garden residence Veda Nilayam, will be converted into a memorial. Let's go straight across to India Today's Pramod Madhav live for more on this.
Dr. Prachit Talavi Amma அவர்கள் வாழ்ந்த வேதா நிலையம் இல்லத்தை நினைவிடமாக்கி அம்மாவால் சிறப்பாக வாழ்ந்த சென்னை போயஸ் தோட்டத்தில் அமைந்துள்ள வேதா நிலையம் அரசு நினைவிடமாக மாற்றப்பட்டு பொதுமக்கள் பார்வைக்கு அனுமதிக்கப்படும்.
Let's go straight across to India Today's Pramod Madhav for more on this story. Pramod, was this announcement accepted today? It appears to have come out of the blue at this time.
Well, Shiv, I would say it just came out of thin air because not even the media was informed that such a kind of press meet is going to occur, and the Chief Minister held a press meet for just 2 minutes to reiterate these 2 points. The first one, he calls it as an inquiry commission, and the second one, making Poise Garden as a memorial. Now, I have to tell you here, the initial 2 conditions led by OPS was, first one, a judicial committee probing the death of Jayalalitha, and the second one, removing Shashikala's family from the party. The third point, making Veda Nilayam as a memorial, was OPS's selling point. He said that if he comes to power, he will make the Veda Nilayam a memorial of Jayalalitha. Now it seems like OPS has no arrows in his quiver, as EPS has already used everything. EPS is becoming an alter ego of OPS right now. And not just that, there is another point over here. If you conduct an inquiry commission, it's going to be completely either you're going to get nothing out of it or you're going to get a lot of new data, because OPS was the person at that point who was in charge of the Chief Minister's portfolio, and AIMS doctors were also involved. And not just that, Apollo has already released a thick discharge summary where it clearly maintained what and all were given and occurred. If the judicial probe conducted brings out new points, it's going to cause a havoc, Shiv.
Okay, it's going to cause a havoc. We have with us consulting editor T.S. Sudhir also on the phone line with us. Sudhir, your first reactions to this major announcement?
Well, what Edapadi Palaniswamy has done is to pluck the low-hanging fruit. Converting Veda Nilayam into a memorial for Jayalalitha was not a very difficult task, was not a very difficult decision, because there would have practically no dissent to it. And number 2, ordering an inquiry commission is also a political masterstroke as far as EPS is concerned. Because on one hand, you had OPS pointing a finger at Shashikala, and the management of the Manargudi family had surrounded Jayalalitha, and therefore the needle of suspicion in O Pannirselvam's view pointed to the Manargudi family, especially Shashikala. Whereas T.T.V. Dinakaran during his Mellur rally earlier this week said that it is O Pannirselvam who will have to answer difficult questions, because he was the man in charge there as the senior-most minister and also became the chief minister after Jayalalitha's demise on the 5th of December. So in that sense, it will set T.T.V. Dinakaran and the Manargudi family versus Pannirselvam, and Edapadi Palaniswamy really has nothing to lose. So in that sense, he has ticked off 2 items on Pannirselvam's wish list, as Pramod was mentioning, and therefore, if now Pannirselvam still manages to hold on to the talks of merger and merging the 2 factions of the AIADMK to become a common AIADMK, it will be seen as a manifestation of Pannirselvam's greed, as Pannirselvam's desire to become chief minister. So in that sense, EPS is cornering OPS to an extent and hoping that now the BJP, the central leadership, and all those people who want to push him to a merger will be quite happy with what EPS has done.
Okay, so the OPS faction has pretty much been defanged now. They have nothing against the EPS. The big demands have been met. Let's get a first reaction from the AIADMK itself. Ms. Fatima, member of the AIADMK, is with us. Madam, your first reactions, big announcements from the EPS government, judicial probe into the death of Jayalalitha and the conversion of the Poise Garden Veda Nilayam into a memorial. Your reactions, ma'am?
Both are the most welcome announcements I've ever heard since the death of the sad demise of our beloved Amma. They say justice delayed is justice denied. But in this case, I'm happy at least it is late, better late than never can be applied here. And every single person who has Amma in their heart has always wished that her death should not go like this, unanswered, so many surprise, so many things that could not be revealed could be there, and people could feel it, and they were wondering why nobody is ordering an inquiry into the sudden death of our Amma. She was fine till the previous day, and suddenly she's put into the hospital for a very long period of time, and they say the death has occurred earlier, and they Chumma kept her, and they say she had an embalming done for no reason. All these things are pointing the finger at one particular family, and we had always wanted this to happen. And somehow or the other, this family had been trying to suppress everything and take everything under their control. Be it the government or the party, this family had been trying to take it under their control. At least now we are very, very happy that there will be a probe. And also,
Fatima madam, are you hopeful that the truth will come out? Because there have been so many questions surrounding. There have been a lot of politics that have been played surrounding Jayalalitha's death. The circumstances, like you mentioned, she was fine one day. She was, suddenly very ill the next. There was news that she was about to recover. Then suddenly, her health deteriorated and then she passed away. Are you hopeful now that all those questions will be laid down to rest now?
Let me tell you, whether the truth will come or will not come is secondary. That an inquiry is on is very welcome, because if there is no inquiry, the truth is not going to come at all. But if there is an inquiry, the truth may come. It may come. Or not everybody can play with the laws, and I'm happy the law is taking its course, and there will definitely be some light into the death, the undue death of our beloved Amma is what I think. And about the residents, the Poise Garden residents, it does not belong to any of the relatives who were nowhere near her when she was alive, nor to the family which very, very artificially, very, very, very venomously took possession of the house and all her properties. We're very glad that her house will be made into a monument, and I know how people throbbed to see even the outside, the entrance of the Amma's residence when she passed away. So if it is going to be made into a monument, it will be a biggest gift to all the people of Tamil Nadu, especially to the ones who loved her to the core. Thank you.
Madam, now that the general perception is that with these two announcements, there will be peace in the AIADMK, there will be a merger of the two warring factions. Is that something that can immediately happen now, given that these were the main demands of the OPS faction, madam?
See, OPS faction has always been demanding that Sasikala and TTV Dinakaran be ousted from the party's any position. But whether Edapadi Palaniswamy's government is sincerely approaching towards it, or is it putting up a big drama, pretending to avoid them, but in hiding they are having a secret pact with them, and hence the drama of the third faction with Dinakaran at its head. All these things are yet to be seen. So there is always a doubt regarding the merger of the two factions other than the Dinakaran's EPS and the OPS faction. But every party member wants a united AIADMK. They want to see one AIADMK under the leadership of the right person, not under the leadership of this Manargudi family in any case.
Okay, but does this spell the end of the Manargudi family and Sasikala, ma'am? Because right now the politics within the AIADMK is in a very delicate position. You've got TTV Dinakaran, who is projecting power and the support of many MLAs. You've got this merger taking place right now. What do you perceive, ma'am? Is this the end of the Manargudi family? Has Sasikala effectively lost power as a result of this move?
No, when she tried to make Edapadi Palaniswamy, it looked like she had everything under control. But now Edapadi Palaniswamy has taken a stand against the family. So I feel that they have their position by buying people with their money, trying to buy everything with lavish throwing of money will not work always. People, and they will definitely have some conscience, and I'm sure Manargudi family will finally be put to where they belong to, the jail or whatever the course of law will take them to.
Fatima ma'am, just request you to stay on with me. We also have Ms. Prasanna Jaya for more on this. Ma'am, your first reactions to this big decision that has just been announced by the EPS government, judicial probe into Amma's death and the conversion of Veda Nilayam into a memorial.
See, the first thing is that our Deputy General Secretary of AIDMK, Tirutiti Dinakaran, has time and again repeated that, like, we welcome the inquiry commission. We welcome the inquiry commission. So let the truth come out.
Yes.
So we are welcoming it. As simple as that. He said, let them do it. Let them conduct it. Many truths will come out from that.
Ma'am, but what about the conversion of Veda Nilayam into a memorial? That move is being seen as something that the Sasikala faction is not going to be comfortable with.
No, one more thing you have to understand. Veda Nilayam belongs to Amma and she has a blood relation. Don't you think you have to take a concurrence from them before taking such a big leap?
Is that something that either Mr. Dinakaran or the Sasikala faction is going to contest in a court or protest about? Because here EPS has announced
no, they have never claimed. They have never claimed that, like, Veda Nilayam belongs to them. They have never claimed that.
No, you're right. Absolutely, I'm not contesting that, ma'am.
They have never claimed Veda Nilayam belongs to them. So it is for her nephew and niece, Deepak and Deepa, to do that.
Sure. But the question now is, the government has taken an executive decision in this regard. They've taken a decision to convert it into a memorial. So what is going to happen next? Is there going to be a court battle, a legal battle? Is there going to be anything from Sasikala's side?
No, they are not going to do that. They are not going to do that. It is for Deepak and Deepa to take a call.
And one final reaction from you, madam. What about the perceptions that this is being done so as to catalyze the merger between the AIADMK's warring factions, EPS and OPS on the one hand, and the BJP from Delhi? You've seen all these news reports about how the BJP is trying to bring the merger together so an alliance can be forged between the AIADMK and the BJP, and that this decision, these two decisions that have been taken today, are the final sticker on that decision.
No, my final thing is that, like, people will retort to it because they have been seeing all the drama. They have been seeing the drama. So when OPS had asked for an inquiry commission, it was EPS who retorted first that such an inquiry commission is not needed. So we see there is some force there which is there behind them.
Okay.
So for all these drama, the people of Tamil Nadu will give a befitting reply.
Okay, so you're saying there will be a retort, there will be a befitting reply. Ms. Prasanna Jaya, thank you very much for speaking to us. The Chief Minister is speaking live. Let's just listen in.
அது விசாரணை கமிஷனை அமைத்த பிறகுதான் அது விசாரணை செய்து அரசுக்கு அறிக்கை கிடைச்ச பிறகுதான் இதை பத்தி சொல்ல முடியும். நன்றி.
It was Palaniswamy, the Chief Minister there, not taking any questions. The announcement has been made and he's walking away. But in the spotlight right now is his government, this big decision that has a huge amount of emotive resonance has been taken. The death of Jayalalitha, which was a big emotional event in the city of Chennai and caused mass mourning across Tamil Nadu, is now going to be the subject of a judicial probe, which was a big demand that had been made by AIADMK cadres and specifically through the O. Paneerselvam faction. Paneerselvam, who was, as you know, a caretaker chief minister several times on behalf of Jayalalitha. Well, we've got C. Rajshekaran with us, well-known lawyer, supporter of the AIADMK, on the live with us from Chennai this evening. Good evening to you, Mr. Rajshekaran. Big announcement from the Palaniswamy government. How are you reading the effects? What were the compelling factors in your mind, Mr. Rajshekharan, for these big decisions to be announced today?
Shiv, this is not the announcement what the people of Tamil Nadu expected. This is a merger politics where even the death of late Jayalalitha is being used to their benefits and to their advantage.
Good point.
The fact of the matter is the genuine reason for this merger is power sharing and making money from the exchequer. This is the understanding, underline. Nobody is bothered about the people of the state.
Yes.
See, I wanted and wished the unity of ADMK from all factions, not these two factions which is going to loot the state. See, it is better the Honorable Prime Minister dismisses this government, recommends for a president rule, and let the people get a new election. Let them elect their own chief minister of their choice. Why these people? See, the same people were at helm of affairs when late Jayalalitha was admitted in the hospital for 75 days.
They were.
And the same OPS was the chief minister. And what was he doing? Was he going around in Alice in Wonderland? Or the same EPS, the Edappadi Palnichami, was the minister then, powerful minister. What was he doing?
If I may just interrupt you just for a moment, it appears to me that you've completely lost faith in this government. It appears to me that you've completely lost faith in this party as well, in the way it is conducting its affairs. Because it appears to me that you are speaking the voice of the people of Tamil Nadu right now. Please correct me if I'm wrong. They are fed up with merger politics and they might see through this decision as well. That's what you're saying.
Yes, see, I'll tell you. Till yesterday, O. Pannirselvam was going all around in the state saying that Edappadi Palnichami is the corrupt government and he is going to organize rallies in several districts. Both these EPS and OPS, who are supposed to be UKs only, think the Tamil Nadu people are fools. They think they can take us for granted. Ridiculous. We will not allow this. See, I am speaking on behalf of the people. This merger politics, this merger drama, this merger announcements, this theatrics and all will not work out to the people of Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
Because if you are really interested in the people of the state, you should have been honest. You should have been crystal clear. Now you are making an announcement where OPS was the chief minister then, and he will be holding important portfolios, and Edappadi was the minister then, and he will sit on the inquiry commission. What is this? He thinks we the people are fools. For this, we vote even BJP to power. We don't mind bringing anybody to power here. Not this corrupt group. I am not with them. I am with the people. I want stable, honest government. Not this theatrics, this dramatic and this unstable government we don't deserve. This is all mixed in the public space.
No, but tell me something.
Enough is enough.
Absolutely. I get what you're saying, Mr. Rajshekharan. But tell me, do you think the BJP also has a hand in this? You're saying the BJP should call for presidential rule. Do you think they have a hand in this because they want a merged entity of the AIADMK?
Shiv, you are asking me a question which is known to every single citizen of Tamil Nadu, not only Tamil Nadu, 125 crore people of India know what is happening in Tamil Nadu. Because, see, for merger, what has Prime Minister got to do with the merger? But EPS and OPS go and prostrate before the Prime Minister, like how they did before late Jayalalitha. And I really don't understand. See, I am not casting aspersion on BJP. Any government at the center would do what they are doing today. So I don't find fault with BJP too, because they will take advantage for their own benefits of their party. So I would say BJP can be allowed to do what they want because they are in full majority at the center. The president has been elected by BJP, the vice president is BJP, the prime minister is BJP. So naturally they will do what they are doing. There is no surprise in it. But if the merger is between ADMK parties in the state, why they are going all the way to Delhi and discussing their terms and taking the agenda from the central government? This is very evident in the public space and the people of Tamil Nadu are aware of everything. So there is a huge vacuum and it's high time this government has lost the moral right to continue as said by Dr. Kamal Hassan, Padma Shri Kamal Hassan. You are asking resignation of every chief minister for any scam or any law and order problem or any hospital issue. Why not this government, which has failed in delivering the people what they promised? So I go by the version of Kamala Hassan, who is vociferously articulating the people's mind in the public space.
Okay, stay with me, Mr. Rajshekharan. S. Srinivasan, senior journalist and political observer, also with us live this evening on 5 Live. Mr. Srinivasan, good evening to you. Big announcements coming out from the government, the EPS government. Very emotive issues, both of these. The deaths of Jayalalitha, her home being converted into a memorial to the former chief minister. What do you think, Mr. Srinivasan, are the big compelling factors? What is the political message here?
Yeah, it's a big news, but obviously what is very clear is it's a political posturing. There is an attempt being made that the two factions of AIDMK be brought together, and a number of BJP leaders too have been participating in this endeavor, which is what my earlier speaker also said. Now, there is a certain face saving which was required for both the parties. OPS has been insisting on these two issues. One is converting that into a memorial, Jayalalitha's house, Poets Garden House, and the second was, of course, an inquiry, which he wanted, of course, a CBI inquiry into the death, the circumstances into the death of Jayalalitha. Now, since the terms of reference are not known, we really don't know what the investigation is going to be. Is it going to be, so first let me say this. Therefore, yes. Obviously, there is a face saving which OPS required, and EPS was also under pressure to deliver something, and they need to, the biggest signal which is emanating out of this is by asking, the demand that the place should be converted into memorial, her house should be converted into memorial, also says that the family, the Sasikala family should be off limits. In a way, it's a signal to them also that the family should be, and this was one of the demands of OPS as well. And that was also a condition for the merger. So what it appears is now they are much closer to merger. Now there is nothing which OPS can cite for not to merger. Obviously, there are unstated reasons which should be behind the scene, but obvious in public statements, these are the two demands he has raised, and both the demands now have been agreed upon by the Chief Minister at a party. So that's the situation here.
Okay, Mr. Srinivasan, yes, continue.
There are other issues about the investigation itself. Now, since the terms of reference are not known, it's only that been announced so far is that a retired judge will go into it. One really do not know how and what would the reference would be. Will it be the 75 days during her hospitalization, or will it also precede what happened to her at her residence? Or will it be going into the medical aspects of it? Will they be examining all the doctors? Will they be examining the administration of the hospital?
Okay.
I mean, there are a number of issues. We really do not know what are the scope of this investigation going to be.
Okay. Okay. We have Priyambada, our correspondent, live with us from Chennai. Before that, I want to get more. We've got lots of political reactions coming in. S.V. Ramani of the Tamil Nadu Congress is also with us on the phone line. Mr. Ramani, your reactions to this big announcement from the EPS government, is this merger politics, or is this really what the people want to see in Tamil Nadu, a probe into Jayalalitha's death? Is that the priority at this time? Your reaction?
I personally feel that, the probe is welcome because, there have been too many allegations and counter-allegations on this issue. But I only hope that the probe is totally comprehensive, as I was just listening to the other spokesperson, that it should cover all the aspects of her death, before, after, and what happened in the hospital, whether proper medical care was given, and, doctors from abroad had come and attended to her, and what was the result of that, what was their reaction, what was their report. I think everything should be gone into, so that, once for all, the issue is settled. But second thing is, yes, one of the demands made by the Pannirselvam section has been met. But I still feel that, that we are quite far away from the merger now.
Okay. Thanks for your reaction there. But, Priyambada, right now, it is very difficult to imagine two more emotive issues in Tamil Nadu than the death of Jayalalitha. We are sitting here and talking just about 8 to 9 months since Jayalalitha's demise. in December last year. It is still a very politically hot issue. We've seen how it has been forcefully pushed by the EPS faction. But there are many observers who feel that there will be some resistance. There will be some blowback to these two big decisions. Can you tell us what you're hearing on the ground, Priyamvada?
Well, I think this is probably the ultimate checkmate to O. Paneerselvam, because all along, at least externally, officially, O. Paneerselvam, her team had been demanding for a probe into Jayalalitha's death and removal of Shashikala family completely from the AIADMK. So now Edappadi Palaniswamy, both, he has removed TTV Dinakaran as the Deputy General Secretary and has also ordered for a judicial probe into Jayalalitha. This is literally cornering OPS, saying, look, we have given you what you want, now will you come for the merger? But we know that this is not the ultimate aim of the OPS faction. What they are negotiating back in the back channel is completely different, to get hold of the party and also to get the Chief Minister's position, because OPS is not ready to accept the Deputy Chief Minister's position. This might also be in a way trying for EPS to build his own image, and if OPS does not respond to this immediately, it could take a beating on his image quite well.
So it could take a beating on his image as well. Mr. Rajshekharan, what do you see, how do you see the Sasikala faction and Dinakaran reacting to this? You know, we just had a reaction from Prasanna Jaya of the Dinakaran camp saying that there is going to be resistance, the public will respond to this, and that you cannot write off Dinakaran and Sasikala just yet. What do you think?
Sure. I don't see any possible fear from the Dinakaran faction or Sasikala faction for the simple reason. See, Jayalalitha was very active till when she was admitted on 22nd, if I'm right, if memory goes right. And 75 days, it was the hospital who was responsible to give what they had done to her and the treatment, etc., which they had also, in the previous occasion, filed a sealed report to the Honorable High Court, Chennai. So there is no fear for Dinakaran or Sasikala faction. That's what I understand. And if at all there is an inquiry, how can an inquiry be done on a person who was a minister and who was a chief minister then during that particular period when Jayalalitha was treated in the hospital? Point number one. Point number two, what is the answer this OPS who says he is fighting Dharma Youth and he is fighting against corruption of EPS, and he called EPS as the most corrupt chief minister? All this stuff is in the public space. These two, EPS and OPS, who are supposed to be the UPS, think that we, the people of Tamil Nadu, are fools, idiots, to buy these kind of statements and this kind of announcement. The people of Tamil Nadu don't deserve this government anymore to continue.
You know, but
we want.
But Mr.
Rajshekharan,
but you know, one problem with this is, you know, you're saying that the people will reject it, the people will, you know, teach a lesson to these guys in government right now. But elections are so far away. Elections are only going to happen, you know, 3 or 4 years from now. So where are these people going to learn any lesson? They are playing the politics of today if you accuse them of that.
Yes, Shiv. See, if you rewind your channel's tape, and I was the person who was saying, give them 6 months' time. Let them prove what they're going to do to the people of the state. It's already 6 months nearing.
Yeah.
And EPS has only ensured he and his partner, life partner OPS, are going to join hands to loot what? Sand, exchequer, other contracts, highways contract, PWD contract. For what they are merging their party, not their factions, not the party. Because, see, I don't hold brief to TTV Dinakaran. I have not even met him. That is a different story. But if you go by the merit, see, 2 days before, 14th of August, he had organized a public meeting which was transformed into a big rally, massive rally. So there was ADMK cadres falling in front of the car of where he was traveling from Madurai. So there is enough proof and evidence to substantiate that he is supposed to become the future leader of the ADMK party for the cadres. So he has categorically said he is not bothered about the government.
Yes.
He is only bothered about the party and the cadres. So he is very clear. Tomorrow, if ADMK, if supposedly, if Mr. Amit Shah and Prime Minister Modi decide this government should go in the interest of the state, and if they want to do good to the people of the state, if they bring in the president rule, definitely people will not vote either OPS or EPS.
Okay.
Because everybody is, now the cat is out of the bags of EPS and OPS faction. What they are going to go before the people?
Let's get an opposition voice, Mr. Rajshekharan. Durai Murugan of the DMK is also with us. Mr. Durai Murugan, what are your reactions to this? Jayalalitha's death had caused a storm of rumors, storm of politics and speculation right now. There are voices within the AIADMK and including supporters like Mr. Rajshekharan who say this is the worst possible announcement. This is an insult to the people of Tamil Nadu and nothing good can come from this. As the opposition party, what does the DMK think about this big announcement?
But I also said this is only eyewash. It is to satisfy the OPS because he has imposed some condition one. So that is why he announced this one. It is only eyewash. By this time, after that Jayalalitha, so long ago, all the records have been destroyed. He should be hanged first. As soon as Jayalalitha dead, everybody says there is some mystery into that problem. Immediately they have to announce. It should be announced, even if it should be announced the entrance to the CBI. Then only they can know they have to go abroad, they have to cross the doctors who are attended, what are the records, how they cross destroy the record, everything like that. Therefore, this is only eyewash. As an inter-party, they are going to construct a bridge between these two OPS APS. Another thing, they have projected a culprit. Both state Jayalalitha is the culprit. Now they are going to project as a national leader. That's all. It is a great insult to the people. It is only eyewash.
Okay, you're saying eyewash, insult to the people of Tamil Nadu. President's rule should be instituted in the state of Tamil Nadu. Deputy Editor Priyamvada, who's been talking to all sides in this sort of political potboiler that is Tamil Nadu, non-stop political tamasha in the state that we have in common, Priyamvada, is that the politics may continue, but the fact is we are talking about an issue which is considered almost sacred, Priyamvada. The politics will have to be very, very careful now. We're talking about the death of perhaps Tamil Nadu's most popular leader.
Absolutely. This is one of the most sensitive issues, but let's understand how all the three factions are trying to pacify each other or for their personal benefit, for the political benefit. Each one of them have been changing their stand. Initially, when OPS was the chief minister, there was no talk about Jayalalitha's death probe. Only DMK was raising the subject. When OPS came out, he demanded the death probe and there was absolute silence from EPS and TTV because they were together. And then finally, a few days back, TTV openly challenged saying, let that be probe and only it will be OPS who has to be answerable. And now EPS comes out and says that the probe will be ordered, which means based on Jayalalitha's death probe, each of these factions are trying to play their own political game and we do not know whether fair and true answers are going to come after the probe.
Absolutely. H. Raja of the BJP is also with us on the phone line. Mr. Raja, how are you seeing this play out? What is the BJP's reaction to this announcement from the EPS government?
Some sound is coming. Yes, tell me now.
Yes, Mr. Raja, your reactions to these two big announcements that have been made by Chief Minister Palaniswamy?
It is welcoming. If the suspicious air is cleared, it is good for everybody. And moreover, the former Chief Minister, Mr. O. Pannirselvam, has put two conditions to move towards merger. That is, one, the Sasigala family should be kept out of the ADMK and enquiry should be ordered with regard to the death of Madam Jayalalitha. And since both the conditions are now fulfilled by the Honorable Chief Minister, I think that now we are the ADMK is moving towards merger of two factions.
Okay, so that's the BJP's first official reaction, first and exclusive here on India Today, saying they welcome the move and this will pave the way for that political merger between the warring factions of the AIADMK. We're going to slip into a very quick break. This story is gathering momentum in Tamil Nadu. We're going to get some citizens' reactions and from the other parties operating in Tamil Nadu. We're going to try and reach across and get a word in from Kamal Haasan himself. You're back with India Today as we track the big developing political story from Tamil Nadu. The government of Tamil Nadu has just announced that Jayalalitha's death will now be the subject matter of a high-level judicial probe to set the minds of the public and politicians at ease. And also, very importantly, that Veda Nilayam, the iconic residence of former Chief Minister Jayalalitha, will be converted into a memorial. This paves the way for a merger between the two warring factions, EPS and OPS, within the AIADMK. We've got the first reactions coming in from the OPS camp, which has been making these two principal demands ever since the last 6 months. Mr. Pandeyarajan of the OPS camp, AIADMK leader, is with us on the phone line. Mr. Pandeyarajan, your reactions. I know that the OPS faction has been making these demands for a very long time. Your first and official reactions to these announcements.
It's a big victory for the Dharma youth started by Mr. OPS, and when he went into Amma's memorial and did the meditation and announced his Dharma youth on February 7th. It's been 6 months since then, and all our three demands have been met. First was the demand to keep away the Sashikala family, which EPS and 26 executive committee members have signed the notification last week. And the second was to convert Veda Nilayam into a memorial, which got announced today.
Yes.
And the third is to get the judicial inquiry into Amma's untimely death. All three have been actually met up. In fact, we had asked for the CBI inquiry, but they've given a judicial inquiry to begin with. And personally, I'm delighted. The obstacles towards engaging in formal merger talks have been removed, in my view. So our leaders would decide the modalities of how to take it forward.
Mr. Pandeyarajan, how would you address the criticism? There is some criticism coming in from some quarters that this is not about the voice of the people. This is not a public demand. This is something that is restricted to merger politics and trying to gain mileage continuously out of Jayalalitha's death. How would you defend that, sir?
Not true. In my view, every person in Tamil Nadu have been seeking this. You saw it in RK Nagar elections. You saw it in every one of the places where we have done our Dharma Youth. We have done about 14 meetings today across the length and breadth of Tamil Nadu. And every heart in Tamil Nadu would be happy today that finally some justice will be rendered to Amma herself, who has done so much for them. So in my view, there is nothing to do with merger politics. Yes, there have been three preconditions which we laid before the merger merger talks can happen. Now I suspect the leaders will decide how to carry it forward, to decide what structure the party and structure the government should be there to get Amma's dream of Vision 2023 to be implemented on the ground in Tamil Nadu.
But is that merger going to happen finally, Mr. Pandeyarajan? I mean, we've been speaking about it. It's been speculated upon for so long. Is that finally going to happen at all?
I hope so. I believe so. And it's completely up to EPS and OPS, the two top leaders, to engage in meaningful discussions. The cadre wants it. The people of Tamil Nadu want it. And the only people who are threatened by it are DMK and the forces aligned with them.
What about the Sasikala faction, Mr. Pandeyarajan? I mean, they're not going to take this sitting down. We had some representatives from their camp talk to us a moment ago before you, where they said the public will not accept this. The Managudi family will not accept this. They're a powerful bunch of people, aren't you? Have you underestimated what they could do at this point?
We were very surprised that Mr. CTV Dinakaran 2 days back made a formal request for setting up a judicial inquiry into Amma's death. We were ourselves quite surprised and we welcomed it, actually. So, in fact, all the three factions, if you call it, if you like, are welcoming this decision to set up an inquiry in Dharma's death, and they've said that they're going to submit some documents, photographs, videos, and things like that. I really think there is no possibility of a separate faction jutting out. The cadre of the party will not accept it, and in my view, you will see a united ADMK very, very soon.
Have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Pannirselvam since this announcement was made? What does he think, sir?
We're meeting today evening, and we'll take a call together.
Okay, Mr. Pandirajan of the OPS camp, thanks for speaking to us here on India Today. Priyamvada is still with us. Priyamvada, everyone playing it a little cautiously at this time, but OPS camp obviously welcoming all of this. A note of caution being struck from the Sasikala camp on expected lines. Is OPS going to be addressing some kind of a press conference today? Because this could be the first time in many weeks, Priyamvada, when OPS, who's been harping on these 2 points, has got what he wanted. He does not enjoy a lot of political capital in terms of MLAs. He had a certain amount of public support at one point of time a few months ago, but now OPS has been reduced to a bit of a sideshow as far as the AIADMK is concerned. Maybe this is a time for him to come out and say, this is my impact.
Absolutely, Shiv. You in fact nailed it by describing what exactly OPS is going to do. But we are getting information that another 15 to 20 minutes from now, he's likely to address the media. But like how Mr. Maffei Pandirajan claimed, it could just be to say that we have won and the reason why we launched this Dharma Yudh has been completed. But that doesn't lead us to the fact whether it is going to be a merger or not, because OPS is still not ready to accept the merger talks. Because now EPS has fulfilled all the pointers that he wanted to. And now sources are telling us that TTV Dinakaran also has no issues with it. Because TTV Dinakaran in fact was the first one who a couple of days back said that the probe should happen. So he is also okay with the probe. But now it's all the number game, Shiv, which is going to decide the fate of this Tamil Nadu government. Who is going to jump to which ship, and who is going to trying to retain the power in the government. Otherwise, it will be just a matter of time before the government falls, and which could be a big loss for every MLA sitting there, including EPS-OPS or the MLAs supporting TTV Dinakaran.
Any official reaction so far from Mr. Dinakaran or anybody close to him at this point, Priyamvada?
Well, so far we haven't got an official reaction, Shiv, but then sources are telling us, they are saying, let this happen, let the probe be happen. We are open to any kind of probe and we are ready to face the situation, is what the sources.
Okay, just stay with me, Priyamvada. We have Apsara Reddy, member of the AIADMK, with us. Apsara, good evening. Your reactions to this note of caution struck a little earlier by some factions. What do you think about this big announcement that's been made by the government?
The Chief Minister can, order any probe he wants. He's well within his jurisdiction to do so. And I think all these claims of turning the House into memorial can be legally challenged because it has to go to somebody that Jayalalitha Madam has legally given it to. So the CM can make grandiose announcements, but I think ultimately we'll have to wait and watch how the law plays out and legally how we take it forward.
Okay, so you're saying that these things can be legally challenged. You're okay with the judicial probe, which is something that was in fact asked for by TTV Dinakaran himself of the Sasikala faction. But the conversion of Veda Nilayam into a memorial is something that the Sasikala faction has made it very clear that they intend to contest legally. Just gives you an indication, gives you a sense of just what high temperatures the politics of Tamil Nadu have assumed on the back of these two small announcements. But they're not small by any measure of imagination.